Okay, so we are presented today with the charting tool of the Call Financial. So from this tool search bar, you will type in PComp, which I already did. That's why it's already here. So this is the Philippine Stock Exchange Composite Index, and we want to know what's going on with the index and what would be a short term and then an intermediate term view of the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. So in the market, when you say market, quote unquote, we are presented with the movement of the PSEi. It's not an individual stock, it's not every stock, it's just the index, which correspond to about 30 stocks more or less. If you want to know the composition of the index, then you may go and check it in the PSE website. Alright, so this is my usual view, the 1 year view, although you can change it to 6 months and even 3 months if you want. Right? So firstly, if we want to see the 1 year view, at least we will have an appreciation of the market, where it is right now and where it has been. So if we will notice, the 1 year view presents itself with more or less the Bollinger Bands have been in a price consolidation for a long period of time. Although if you will look at 2019, it doesn't seem to be that, right? But since we have experienced this downfall, all right, so the Bollinger Band here starts to go like crazy from a narrow to a widening band that have never been seen for quite some time. And the reason, of course, is the COVID pandemic, right? So starting with February 24, 2020, it starts to have its breakout. Of course, the breakout is downward in its direction. So coming from this, it went down like that and up to the lowest in March 19 at what's the low? 4,039.15. Now it is at 5,946 today, 0.05. It closed up 2.86% from yesterday. And if you will notice, let's look at the closer view of that. Let's look at the 3-month view. If you notice, the candlestick today is really bullish. Okay, coming from this and starting to move up sideways, and now it's here. Okay, so if this movement is not deserved, so to speak, because the price is already at the upper band of the Bollinger, then we may start to see some selling that will happen in the next couple of days. Maybe not this week, but starting next week. Let's see what will happen. But for me, I think what the direction will be, it will go up for some time. But then if the news turns sour, then it will go down. Of course, the news today, the research of the UP people, the fellows from UP, they're saying that the curve is already flattening. I don't know. Let's look at our own analysis later. But if that is accepted by the market as a bit of a good news, then maybe it will continue to go up. Okay, so I think the market is on a wait and see right now, because if you will notice, the band is slowly consolidating again. Right, so if you want to make a last ditch effort to enter the market, maybe this is the proper time. Wait for it to turn down a bit or something, and then you may start buying your stocks already, because the market is cheap. Now look at the RSI. The RSI is at 54 today. It went as low as 9. Imagine that. 6 in March 19. Imagine. Oh, 9 pala. 9. It was at 9. Alright, it's not even 10. It's at 9. So it's tremendously, extremely oversold during that time. Oh, it was even at 4.96 in March 19. So that is extremely oversold. Alright, and now it's moving up. It's not yet overbought, but it's nearing overbought at 80. So maybe if you have bought in these lows, then maybe you can start to pick up your gains and maybe sell some of your shares if you're into trading. If you are into investing long term, then stop buying already and start consolidating your gains. Now for the let's skip first the ADX. Let's look at the MACD. The MACD both negative still, so it's still in the bearish region, but you will notice that the MACD passed the signal line somewhere in March 30, crossed over, going up, and the MACD the area starts to be positive. So it's still not bullish at this point in time, but it's already signaling a bullish MACD. The OSM indicator, the oscillator, changed from this low. This is the lowest that it has been in March 25, and then the next day it turned green. Although the oscillator still is bearish, so to speak, because it's still below zero, but you will notice that the green bar is slowly shortening, and then soon it will turn over to the other side. Although I don't have an example of this, let's look at the long term, maybe 5 years. Yeah, so you will see that it has been down for quite some time, but now it's starting to move up. There have been periods when the oscillator has been positive, this part. So at this point in time, it's a good decision to buy in the market. So let's now look at the ADX. So the ADX is composed of three lines. The green represents the buyers and the red represents the sellers. So at this point in time, the sellers, 38.03, still outnumber the buyers, but I think only by hairline by margin. So the margin is very, very small. So in short, the buyers is almost overtaking the sellers. The other number here is the 31. That number is the trend line indicator. So if it is above 20, it means that the trend is quite strong. So meaning at this point in time, starting from this section wherein the buyers are being outnumbered by the sellers, it has closed the gap and it's now almost overtaking the sellers. So this ADX indicator is trying to tell us that the market is slowly turning towards being bullish again. Let's go back to our analysis and look at it from a longer term. So Bollinger, it has passed the breakout period and it's now more or less going through some price consolidation, but it's still the price is near the upper band of the Bollinger, so there's a danger for it to make a sell-off in the next couple of days. And this also points out or aligns to what the RSI is telling us, because RSI has been moving up, climbing from the lowest point of about 4 now to 54. So if it reaches around 70 or 80, it's already nearing overbought. Then of course there would be some sell-off over there. So if you are a trader, then some of the traders are preparing to already sell at this point in time, and absent any good news, that's what will happen in the next couple of days. Okay, MACD, although the MACD has overtaken the signal line crossover in March 30, so it's indicating already the early signs of bullishness, but we're still waiting for some confirmatory signal because the MACD and signal are both negative still, so we have not yet passed the zero line. ADX also points out to that in the sense that the sellers are still outnumbering the buyers, but only by a very, very, very thin margin. And although the trend line is already slowing down from a very high 57, the trend line is still more or less strong at 32. Remember that the trend line has to be above 20 in order for it to be pronounced really as a trend, because if not, then it's only ranging. So what is an example of a ranging area? This one, December 13, 2019. Look at the range. The trend indicator of ADX is only 18, 19. So at this point in time, these prices, the price of the PSEi here is only ranging. It's not trending. But when it starting from this one, starting from January 27, it's at 21, 24, 21. So the strength of the trend is already manifesting itself, and especially when it started to have the sell off 25, 27, 34, 36, 37. So this is the strength of the trend, and it's going down. But then there was some kind of a halt, and the market starts buying again. The trend is going down a bit, and we can see that the trend in the next couple of days or even months, it will settle down to in the range of about 20 or even less than that. Finally, in the awesome indicator, as we said, the awesome indicator saw the change of the color from red to green in March 28, but it's still over to the bearish section. So those are the things that we can see in the market today. So for me, looking at the signals that we see, I think that the market will still consolidate in the next couple of days, and then it will await the good news, especially whether the lockdown will already be canceled, and we will go on to our normal, well, not really normal, but at least we will open businesses again. So when that happens, then the price will further consolidate, and I guess we will see the true face of the market by that time. So but right now we're still in a wait and see situation. Look at individual stocks and look at your favorite stocks. Look at the companies that have continually defeated all these recessions, and the stronger ones, the stronger companies with a huge baseline of income and revenue stream. Those companies will be very, very strong in the coming days, especially when you bought them at a low. So good luck in all your trades, and see you in the next video.